Right, so meal number one is 100 grams of oats, 2 whole eggs with 100 grams of, 200 grams of egg whites, and then we have 200 grams of fruit as well. Gonna go ahead and eat this first meal now. Yeah, not the most adventurous meal, it's just very typical bodybuilding breakfast. But nevertheless, it's still some good quality food. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Right, for my second meal, which is my pre-workout meal, I have 100 grams of cream of rice, 50 grams of whey protein, then 30 grams of dark chocolate, 85%, and 30 grams of raisins. Ideally, I should have made this into cream of rice the way you're meant to do it, because it would have been more satiating that way, especially on a cut, it would have made me feel a bit more full. But pretty much I'm just lazy, I'm in a rush, and I don't really like cream of rice anyway, so I'd rather just blend it all, neck it, and then it's job done. But I probably will have to go start making it the proper way, just so it is a bit more satiating, especially as calories drop throughout this mini cut. So yeah, but for now, got it as a shake, just gonna neck it, so yeah. Yo, how's it going guys? Hope everybody is all good. So thought I'd do a little voiceover segment for this part of the video of the training footage. So on the screen now, you are watching the pull day from today with Harrison. So this is the first week of my new program with my new coach for bodybuilding, which is really, really exciting. Obviously hoping to get on stage early next year. Men's physique will be the first time I've competed in bodybuilding. And those of you who know me know I've competed in powerlifting in the past, but this will be the first time competing in bodybuilding. So really, really dialing in on the training now. Really trying to focus on the switch. Obviously bodybuilding is more so about the way in which you move the weight, the way in which you do the exercise, rather than just shifting a load from A to B, which is obviously kind of what the goal is in powerlifting. So to kick things off with this pull day, we did a single arm lat pull down or pull-in machine. Really good machine here, very much so biased towards the lat, obviously with the starting position up and above you. Really nice and easy to align with the lat fibers. And yeah, you can just get a very, very good stretch and contraction on this, even with the D handle as well, which normally I would find I can't use because it limits my range of motion because of my long arms. But even with the D handle, I can, still get really good stretch at the top, which is always a nice feature to have on a machine. So moving on now to block pulls. Haven't done this movement in a long time. Obviously used to deadlift quite a lot, as I said back in the day when I was powerlifting. But I kind of took out all sort of hip hinging movements just because I just wasn't really enjoying them much anymore, from obviously just the consistent deadlifting for years. It just kind of got a bit boring. But yeah, back in with the hip hinging movements now. Again, kind of a very difficult thing to get my head around is switching obviously over to bodybuilding and focusing more on about the way I'm moving the weight, and just really try and think about what muscles I am activating and really trying to target on this exercise, because obviously primarily it was round the shoulders, reduce the range of motion as much as possible, be as explosive as possible, and now just really trying to focus a bit more on the way in which I'm moving the weight. As you can even see here from this clip, I'm being very explosive off the floor, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but isn't the most advantageous for bodybuilding. So potentially looking at slowing that down could be more beneficial for me. Then moving on to a single arm row. It's kind of a high to mid or high to low row. Really good bit of kit here. Good to get a nice bit of stretch and contraction on, and you can load a fair bit of weight onto this as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, definitely a good one to add in if you have this sort of horizontal pull or variation in your gym. And obviously we are taking pretty much all sets till mechanical failure where safe to do so. So what I mean by that is performing all sets until form breaks down, like to a certain degree where it's not worth continuing the set. Which essentially is just train until failure. If you're not training until failure, highly recommend giving it a go. You're definitely going to see a huge difference in your kind of training mentality and your intensity, and hopefully a big difference in your results too. Doesn't mean you should train everything till failure. You know, something like a squat, a barbell squat, or a leg press, probably not the best thing to train till failure. Probably better to keep a rep or two in reserve. But you know, training till failure is something I found to be like tremendous, like for my training. Has made an absolutely massive difference to just kind of, like I said, my overall mentality towards training and the intensity I bring to my sessions. Yeah, now moving on to the standard lat pull down. This movement generally doesn't hit the lats too much, even though it's called a lat pull down. Obviously, you will still be activating the lats, but the way I like to do the movement is kind of focus about the way I'm pulling the bar, keeping my torso deliberately leaned back a little bit and trying to pull down into the upper back and just kind of build that upper back, which is something I'm really trying to bring up. Again, due to deadlifting for extended amount of time, I've got quite developed erectors and kind of lower traps, but my upper back kind of thickness and overall development is definitely lacking, which obviously is something that's going to be really obvious on stage in men's physique. So definitely something I'm going to have to be focusing on a lot more. So yeah, really just trying to manipulate the movement to make it the best for me, which is something I think is quite important. Obviously, there are fundamentals of training. You kind of want to take the same approach for most exercises, but you'll find different little ways to change the exercise to benefit you more. So yeah, definitely worth doing and taking into consideration. And now finishing up with the dumbbell preacher curl. Nice little variation to the standard preacher curl here. I'm normally a big fan of cables for arms, just because you get that resistance the whole way through generally, but nice to switch things up a little bit and go for a dumbbell variation here too. But that concludes the training segment of this video. I will leave you guys to the rest of it. Hopefully you enjoy.
Good. Good man.
One more.
Good. Drive. Fucking drive. Good.
One more.
I was like, fuck. It's top class.
That's not normal anymore. Imagine, bro, I think about this the day that you feel. What do you feel? You can walk there next to someone, yeah, and someone says, kill me.
Question everything you do everything like that. I'll show you what I've got so far. You can like correct things. I'm like, alright. So this will be my first one. So I'm going to come out and go.
Yeah.
Oh god. Right, so finished with that session now. Hopefully you enjoyed the voiceover and the training footage. Getting into our post-workout meal, we have chicken pesto pasta, 170 grams of chicken, 75 grams of pasta, and 40 grams of pesto with some green veg. Unfortunately, a very small portion to what I would normally have, but we are cutting, so what can we expect? But yeah, gonna go ahead and eat this, and then we'll get on to the next meal. Right, so for the fourth meal, I've got some beef mince, 5%, with some rice. So it's 180 grams of beef mince, 330 grams of rice, and some green veggies. I'm gonna have a little bit of mayonnaise with this, some light mayonnaise just to help it go down. Again, very kind of basic, bland meal, but it's good quality food nonetheless. So yeah, gonna go ahead and eat this and then probably catch you guys at the last meal of the day, and then we will kind of just round up the calories, the intake, and talk about how the cut is going so far. Right guys, so the final meal of the day is this wonderful creation. Looks a bit messy, but as you can see from when I was making it up, it is 6 grams of Frosties, 20 grams of honey, 20 grams of almond butter, 450 grams of Greek yogurt, and mixed frozen berries. So never had anything like this before. I'm not normally very adventurous with my foods. I'm normally just very simple, just chicken pasta, beef pasta, mince, or you know, rice, etc. So it's good to see what works well with me and just trying out some new foods anyway. But yeah, this is the last meal. Calories will be up on screen again, as they should have been for all meals. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and eat this now, and then we'll wrap things up. Right guys, so that pretty much wraps up all of the meals for the full day of eating. Yeah, so happy with how things are going so far with the cut. If you guys don't know, if you follow my Instagram, I've pretty much done a cut over the last sort of 3 to 4 months. I've gone from peak bulk at 122 kilos down to 102, back up to around 105 now because I went for a bit of a maintenance period for about 2-3 weeks. But now, starting with a new coach, we're pushing the cut further. So we're dieting down, hopefully to get pretty lean, obviously not quite stage ready, but we're gonna see how lean we can get over the next kind of 6 to 8 weeks, and then go from there based off biofeedback and kind of just see what condition we're in. Obviously, generally, the leaner we can get, the more optimal position I'll be in to gain muscle, the more susceptible my body will be to put on tissue. So that is kind of the goal of this mini cut, just to tidy up a little bit more and then push onto a big mass building phase in preparation to start prep early next year. So yeah, very excited for that. But that just about wraps things up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do drop it a like, it means a lot. And obviously subscribe if you want to see more content. I'm pretty much going to be filming my whole sort of off-season prep, I guess you could say, leading up to stepping on stage next year. So if something you guys want to see, then feel free to drop subscribe and follow along. Any suggestions, obviously drop me a message on Instagram or comment down below. But yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video.